Hello and welcome to another Gameplay Monday video, and we are back after our 1-week hiatus. In this game we're going to be looking at Kayn versus Xin Zhao. And now naturally Xin is a much more strong jungler at the moment over Kayn. He's been picked a lot in worlds, he has that early game pressure, he's gank, he can take scuttle crabs very quickly, whereas we all know how Kayn works. He needs his transformation to unlock his full potential, but his farming, speed, and early clear routes have a lot of diversity and different possibilities, so you have to be very careful about how you execute your early game against him, or you're not going to find any camps left. And now the reason I picked this game in particular is because the Kayn ran Conqueror, and if you're curious to see the different kinds of runes and win rates on these champions, u.gg is once again here to help on our Gameplay Monday. Head straight to u.gg, type in the name of the champion you want to look up, it will take you straight to the builds and rune page. You can see the best average runes and win rates and ability skills and everything, but if you're looking for a different kind of rune, maybe looking for something a little bit different to gain an edge, you can click on the rune section and that'll give you the best win rates across different runes. So in this case he's using Conqueror, which isn't very popular but seems to do quite well when you are Rhaast. So for the best builds in 30 seconds or less, or the best alternative options, head to u.gg or click the link in the description. Right, now onto the gameplay, and this game is dictated by one very important thing: patience. And I also want to illustrate how quickly a game can get away from you when your early game doesn't go as planned and the enemy actually ends up denying you a lot more than you anticipated. So in this case, naturally Kayn starts on the top side, but before everyone starts complaining, hey, you can start raptors, yes, he can start raptors, but it is still quicker to get a leash. And considering this is one of the best Kayns in the world, I think we can learn a few things from him. So he takes the red, he goes W second, takes the raptors, smites them, and then moves into the bottom side of the map. Xin has taken his red, goes straight to the top side, and because of a river ward, they see everything he's doing, and he does put a ward by the raptor camps, but you know he started on the top side because of the delayed entry to lane by the Jax. So I'm not sure exactly what the Jax's game plan is, but nonetheless he does go to the top, get that level 2 gank off, grabs the kill, falls back down to his scuttle, which he takes, and then he gets a little greedy, goes back to the top side and doesn't actually get anything from that next gank, and Fiora is actually chunked really low. Now the whole question you have to ask yourself is, while I'm here, what is the Kayn doing? And you know exactly what the Kayn is doing. He's probably doing a full clear from red to bottom to Grom. He's taking the bot side scuttle for sure because you took the top side one, but the problem is Xin has left his raptors and his Krugs up. So while you're wasting time on the top side going for repeat ganks that perhaps might be ill-advised after the level 2 gank, the Kayn is most likely farming your side of the jungle. And in Xin's case, you probably would have wanted to take his Krugs in that situation, because you know full well Kayn definitely isn't going to be going back and up to Krugs just yet when he's got a full bottom side of the map to take control of because you showed top lane twice. So he doesn't do that, and he's in his bottom side of the map, and Kayn's 2 levels ahead, even if it's ever so briefly. So even though he got the first blood on the top side, Kayn has cleared the whole bottom side of the map, and when you are taking Krugs and you have a strong duo lane like a Zion Rakan versus a Kai'Sa who will get shoved in, there remains that higher than normal possibility that you might get a cleanup kill, and guess what it does? He's just casually taking the Krugs, slides on out, and kills the Kai'Sa. Because he's right there, because he's read the map, he knows where Xin is, he knows his game plan, he's anticipated everything so far, and yes, it's a bit fortuitous to get that pickup kill, but now they can dive the Alistar and get that kill as well by tower juggling aggro very nicely. And now both junglers go back, but I think it's very easy to say that Kayn has come out ahead in this early game despite the first blood on the top side, because now the XP advantage that Kayn has will give him the aggressive moves. He will be able to apply pressure to Xin because he won't have the levels, experience, and gold given the camps and the kills to actually compete with him unless he has laner help. So while the kill on the top side for first blood is good, which it is, you have to anticipate what the enemy jungler is doing, and in his case he could have gone to the top side, used the plan to grab the Krugs and at least get some sort of experience back out of the Kayn's jungle instead of just being purely denied. And now we will look at what to do in general situations when you are far behind, or at least really trying to catch up in an upcoming video. But what the Xin does is the best thing. He obviously has no raptors, he has to clear out his Krugs to reset the timer, and now Xayah is pushing by herself, overextending with no vision versus a very strong early game jungler. He moves on down and grabs that kill. In Kayn's situation, he did go take his Krugs, but his Echo, and I'm sure we all feel this pain as junglers, has taken his second spawn of raptors, which does suck, but you know you have a huge experience lead anyway. And now this is where things get a little bit spicy, because Kayn has himself a lead. He feels a bit confident, and perhaps too confident. All you really did was take a guy's bottom side camps while he ganked top, get some kills bot lane. It's not like it's not like you're 5-0. And a lot of times I hear people talking about lane priority and how their laners don't rotate. Well, in this situation, if you're Kayn and you're complaining about that in your particular MMR bracket, you can't, because this is entirely your fault. He goes for the invade on the second red buff spawn, but Orianna has predicted this, the big cow has predicted this, and Xin is of course level 4 and he's gonna follow and try and defend that buff because that's very important for him. Guess what? 3v 3v1 kill. Zhao was dead. They had no way of having a 4v4 fight whatsoever, and it was just greedy. He could have gone back into his jungle to get his own camps and keep that experience level lead. 2 levels it would have been if he'd done another 4 clear, but instead he gets greedy after battling for vision, and now he's dead. Over aggression, punished because he became predictable and the enemy simply rotated. Now, at the beginning, Kayn was very patient. He took the camps, he got a nice kill on the bottom lane. Xin was very impatient, trying to repeat gank top and sort of get a super lead for the Fiora and himself, which didn't pay off. And now Kayn has moved to being impatient. He's trying to snowball that lead and get his transformation as soon as possible. So now that he's dead, Xin has taken his second raptor spawn to get some of that rubber banded catch-up XP, goes back to buy and heads to the top side of the map. While this has happened, Kayn has respawned, taken his red, and is looking to tower dive top lane to clean up a Fiora from a Jax 1v1. But once again, sadly, his over-aggression and greed is met with a dismal sad end. Orianna has rotated, Fiora escapes, he doesn't have his flash up, and now the enemy jungler has caught up nicely just by his own greed instead of enhancing his own lead by setting traps, taking his own camps, and playing intelligently. He lacked patience and now he's being punished for it. However, as I said, he wants his transformations, so these little skirmishes, even if they're not beneficial, do give him those nice red orbs, which is all he really wants. Maybe it's just a master plan. Then we jump forward just a very slight bit. Kayn has respawned again, taken his raptors and headed down to the bottom side. Xin has forgone taking his blue buff, left it up, and has also headed to the bot side because he wants to get his lanes a little bit ahead. You want that Kaiser late game spike, and naturally, because of the Kayn presence early, they are behind. So what he does is he just walks through Tribush and starts to loop around against the pushing lane, which is great normally, but he hasn't considered where Kayn could be, and guess what? He's right there. He walks directly in front of him and just goes in, and he's lucky to survive, and Kayn's team's able to pick up a kill while losing nothing. Now you'll notice that Orianna has actually moved on down to assist, so Kayn doesn't stick around to clear wards or counter jungle or apply any more pressure on the low HP Xin. He just goes back. He has enough red orbs now for his transformation, so he exercises a little bit of restraint and pulls back that impatience, goes back and gets his transformation while, of course, the enemy jungler can clear his camps up and try catch up in XP. So the game is really neutral at the moment, but Kayn has got that power spike and his bottom lane is ahead. So what happens next in order for him, or maybe the Xin, to actually snowball this victory or to come back for the victory? Now, after a little bit of a farming simulator for a few minutes, both junglers attempt ganks on the opposite sides of the map, and this is where you have to critique their decisions slightly. Xin just simply moved up through his jungle, went to the top side, ganked a hard pushing lane Jax, who is sort of gaining an experience in gold lead just through his own lane advantage. They grab a kill there, but Fiora doesn't want to push it out. She doesn't want to push a tower. She wants to absorb as much XP as she can while Jax is down to get herself caught up a little bit. Kayn tries a drive-by gank on the bot lane, but as soon as they see the enemy jungler on the top side, that means let's hard push and grab that first tower because we know no one's gonna come and take it from us. Xin goes and takes the Rift Herald. While Kayn is taking the bot tower, he might as well get something that can net his team a tower down the line in return for that. The negative outcome here is that they're gonna fall back and take the Mountain Dragon as well. So Kayn's bot lane is way further ahead because of his decision to focus that side of the map in terms of ganks, despite his greed plays in the enemy jungle. They've also got a CS lead, a gold lead, a tower lead, and a dragon lead, and all they got in return for it was, well, a Rift Herald. Now, depending how you use it, it might pay off in the end, but it's highly unlikely you gain back that sort of disadvantage. And one of the biggest differences between low MMR and high MMR junglers is that repeat pressure, that continuous push against the enemy that tilts them, denies them, and further gains your lead. You don't just say, well, I got a dragon, I'm gonna go back to base. No, loop back around with your bot lane, punish the fact that the Alistar and Kaiser are not respecting vision and not respecting the deficit, and grab yourself 2 more kills. So you get multiple kills, towers, dragons, gold leads, all just for Rift Herald. It's a brilliant play. It was a much better idea to be on that side of the map, and Xin's clearing path and the way he looped around and left his blue buff up meant he was never gonna be there to counterplay or to help whatsoever. So it's good that he took something back of his own during that time, but his heavy top lane focus really isn't paying off, and Kayn's ability to deny him XP early to put him behind when you want to be ahead as an early game jungler was vital in the direction this game took, despite the fact that it was equal for quite a long period of time now, even though it didn't feel that way. So with that in mind, it's very important that the blue team tries to make some kind of play with the Rift Herald, get some gold back, maybe make a pick and then you can push, which they do try to do in the mid lane, and they are able to grab the tower with the Rift Herald. Problem is, the red team has a bigger lead. Kayn rotates immediately back from base to the mid lane. Jax rotates up before Fiora from the bottom lane while she's on the top side. So despite this tower gain, you're still at a disadvantage in the fight. They didn't read the map properly at all. Their vision is poor, and that impatience to get back into the game to take the tower to use the Rift Herald didn't really pay off. And as you can see, I am not the only Kayn to miss my flash W. Even the best ones in the world can do it. Look at that. See? It's not just me. And despite the fact you'll see in the skirmish that Xin matches up well against the Rhaast, he's able to almost take him down. The problem is his team's there and it's a 2v5. So both junglers die and the red team's able to win the fight, but it shouldn't have happened like that in the first place. So now it's simply a question of taking it home and using your patience to exert your dominance on the map. Kayn moves on up and does a really dirty thing of just sort of seeing the blue buff spawn, Qs over, smites it away, and E's out. It's very tilting, but it's fun to do. And then he moves to the top side of the map. The Echo is split pushing to take that outer tower, and he waits in the tri-bush patiently. If someone comes up, they can 2v1. Someone comes through the jungle, he can start the fight himself. He's just waiting to see if someone shows up. You can see in the blue team's minimap that no one's really in the area, so once it's very clear that they'll be able to get the tower quickly without any intervention, Rhaast moves on up, takes the tower with Echo, and then moves towards the mid lane. And this is where sort of you can see the Xin is completely tilted, and even though he gets a nice kill on the Jax on the bottom side, his team is starting to unravel a little bit, and the Kaiser's trying to get back into the game, but Kayn's team keeps applying the pressure, taking the objectives, and his ability to move around the map with his E and his patience is paying off by continually keeping up the pressure. And now, if you are in these situations where you're behind and maybe you're a Xin, and you start engaging 1v3, just going ham and then saying, where's my team? You are not being patient. You are just rushing in. You are tilted, and you are not giving your team the best chance to succeed. You let the enemy jungler get into your head, and his map movements were better than yours. He knew where to get advantages that were greater than the advantages you thought you were getting, and your impatience has basically sealed the fate of this game. And I just want to highlight one little play a few minutes down the line again, once Kayn's team has taken a few other objectives, is that he waits in the top side bush by Baron, knowing that his team is going to rotate down and the blue team will try to get some sort of vision in the area, maybe to contest a steal, or at least to make a pick of their own. But Xin face checks the bush, Kayn's right there to take him out, and his whole team collapses, and that's a free Baron. Patience, good vision, reading the enemy jungler like a book, and from that Baron they can close out. So even though Xin did get back by Kayn's overaggression in the early game, even though he did get that first blood, he camped top lane, the camp stolen by Kayn in the early game, plus the kills he got on the bot side and the dragon, really sealed the fate of the game, because Xin was always on the wrong side of the map to counteract the play or be there, and he didn't counter jungle once. Kayn had complete control of one side of the map and denied any opportunity for the enemy team to get any form of lead. Hopefully Kayn's pathing and ability to be patient despite his few over-aggressive moves in the early game can show you a better way of controlling the game versus a powerful enemy jungler who is strong in that level 2 to 3 area. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, comment, and share if you enjoyed. Consider joining and becoming a member to support the channel. Please subscribe for more League of Legends videos coming soon, and as always, I will see you all in the next tutorial.